Look around any city street this spring, and you will see something highly unusual. Gen Z and millennials are actually wearing the exact same thing. Specifically, heavy, head-to-toe double denim and tailored hot pants. Look a little closer, and you will spot layers of drill cotton, intricate lace trims, and heavy, draped cape jackets. It is a deeply textured, heavily layered nomad aesthetic. This highly physical, almost historical look feels strange right now. We live in an era dominated by generative algorithms and slick digital spaces, yet our clothes look like they belong to a carefree, romanticized past. But this sudden pivot toward bohemian nostalgia is not a spontaneous cultural movement. These heavy fabrics and intricate details are a direct response to a massive, unseen corporate panic. These designs are the structural byproduct of an economic environment that values risk mitigation over creative experimentation. This chart shows the weighted average of tariffs on apparel and footwear imported into the United States. In early 2025, that baseline rate shot from 13% to a staggering 54% almost overnight, before eventually settling around 36%. That sudden tax hike immediately fractured the global supply chain. U.S. clothing imports from China plummeted by 30%, forcing brands to frantically reroute their massive order volumes into countries like India and Cambodia. Inside manufacturing hubs across Cambodia, factory floors are absorbing the shockwaves. A 42% surge in import volume means these workers are taking on the frantic overflow to help Western brands dodge the new import taxes. When a company's profit margin suddenly evaporates by 20 or 30%, they cannot just operate as usual. Fashion brands were forced into a life-or-death operational pivot to avoid bankruptcy. Faster, more urgently, to survive the tariff crisis, the fashion industry deploys artificial intelligence to radically rewire its entire supply chain. Brands immediately targeted their most expensive overhead. Costly location photo shoots are being replaced by hyper-realistic virtual try-on, or VTO. VTO is a digital tool that uses 3D simulation to generate realistic images of clothing on digital models without requiring a physical camera or live casting. They also build completely artificial influencers. These digital avatars require zero travel budgets, demand no collaboration fees, and carry absolutely zero behavioral risks, entirely zeroing out human marketing costs. Behind the scenes, AI predictive forecasting processes massive datasets from social media and search history to analyze exactly what consumers are looking at months before they actually buy it. By knowing exactly what will sell, brands can drastically reduce their total number of SKUs, or stock keeping units. SKU is a distinct item or variation for sale, like a specific size and color of a shirt. Slashing these individual product lines allows brands to produce less clothing overall and virtually eliminate the cost of unsold inventory. By removing human intuition from the production cycle, brands have transformed the design process into a predictable, data-driven calculation. But cutting costs only solves half the problem. To make up the rest of the missing margin, the industry is playing the elevation game, a strategy where brands systematically raise retail prices to cover the newly imposed tariff taxes. Asking financially exhausted shoppers to pay more for the exact same item rarely works. To convince consumers to accept these price hikes, the clothing itself has to look and feel undeniably premium. That economic necessity creates the aesthetic output we see on the runways. We get seasonless shades and extreme physical tactility, heavy drapes, thick faux fur, and intricate voluminous knits that visually justify a higher price tag. This demand for perceived value also drives a massive pivot toward durable investment categories. Fine jewelry, for instance, is currently seeing 4 times the unit sales growth of standard clothing. It also birthed the rise of smart frames. These AI-equipped glasses combine high-end fashion with multimodal technology, creating the ultimate high-margin accessory for a market desperate to elevate its offerings. The heavy physical weight and complex texture of a 2026 garment is actually an architectural response. The clothing is literally designed to mask an invisible tariff tax. Meanwhile, the people actually buying the clothes are feeling the squeeze. Shoppers are staring down record-high retail prices while navigating a daily routine that feels increasingly synthetic and automated. In response, 84% of U.S. consumers now report that personal wellness is a top daily priority. There is a tangible craving for third spaces, environments that feel grounded, tactile, and deeply human. That emotional fatigue, combined with shrinking budgets, has triggered a massive explosion in the secondhand market. Vintage resale is now growing 2 to 3 times faster than first-hand retail, as shoppers look for items that have already been lived in. This search for spiritual and personal freedom manifests in the nomad look. Dressing freely, with flowing fringes and unpolished patterns, serves as a physical escape from the rigid, polished nature of the digital economy. The industry's push for maximum algorithmic efficiency engineered a market that craves the exact opposite: the irregular, the vintage, and the human. We're wearing the most economically calculated products in fashion history, specifically because they provide the illusion of escaping the economy that created them.